Hello, 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 everyone. It is your baby boomer, Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, back with another Create and Relate. Welcome in the den, Mama Cougar's den, where you are all my kittens. And in case you missed it once, I'll say it twice. I am Mama Cougar, aka Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia. We are here at Create and Relate in the Den, about to have a beautiful time on this show off Saturday. I'm dressed for the weather. One of my new dresses. I love it. It's nice and airy. Hello, sis. How are you, gorgeous? Okay, so number one on our list, what did we have for breakfast? Well, no, let's go back. Let's backtrack. And I'll tell you that we are holding steady at 551 subscribers. 551 subscribers. Yes. Am I excited? Super excited. I am. I really, really am. So, what did we have for breakfast? This morning, I had a cup of noodles. I did. Hi, Lori. Excuse me. I was going to try to call you afterwards. I did get in contact with the post office. Forgive me, y'all. I want to let Lori know this, but they said that they typically track packages Monday through Friday. So they took the information down, the address that it was going to, and the address that it was coming from, and somebody's supposed to call me Monday or Tuesday. So we should know something by Monday or Tuesday. Okay. I'll accept you for these couple of minutes. See, coffee. Absolutely. I think I went 2 days last week without coffee. So I went back up to 18 ounces of coffee, and I'm also doing 18 ounces of creamer. So it's going to be like really sweet to me today, but so good. So good. Caramel macchiato creamer, 18 ounces of Folgers Black Silk. Can't beat it. Freshly made, so it's super hot. I had to leave it open so the little whistle blow a little bit of air in there, so it'll cool off just a teensy bit. Yeah, I said teensy. I'm country. Okay, I'm glad they're helping you. Like I said one time, I sent her a package and it took about a month to get there because it got misrouted. Well, I don't know if it's misrouted, unrouted, upright, routed, down, routed. Um, I need for it to get to Camille. You know, this is nothing against the Stitcherhood. I love you guys. But what I don't understand, and I'm gonna tell you where my grievance is that you're going up on prices. So you all are getting paid more and we're getting shoddier service. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, guys, ask for water. This is all I have on me for right now. But usually this time of the month, we're like drinking water sparingly, but we're doing pretty good this month. That's what I don't know how you cutting employees, but you're getting more money from us. But you, I digress. I digress. Cause that right there ain't my test. Okay. But we just opened a new case of water today. So we've had it. We've had it. Like I told y'all, we were getting back on track. There's some things, there's some things that we've been working on, and we had some ideas about some things like stockpiling certain things and stuff like that. So we figured out that it takes us about 5 cases a month. And I did 4 right off the rip. And I waited close to the end of the month to do the 5th, and we're just opening it. So we're right on target with that. So I know next month I have to get 6 cases of water. Next month being Monday, I have to get 6 cases of water. And whenever I go to the store, I know that I'm going to be getting a case of water and a loaf of bread. Those 2 things are going to be, and then we're going to switch back and forth between the bologna, the hot dogs, and the luncheon meat. And figured out that we need to add tuna fish to it as well, because baby girl loves tuna fish. He's not too hot on tuna fish, but she is. And I love tuna fish. Plus, we do like tuna melts. But that's enough of my grocery list. So, on to the focus, which is where I have a few surprises for you all, which I'm going to jump down to the letter I, which is important news as well. But before I do that, what I would like for you all to do is please drop me an emoji of an egg in the comments. Just an egg. Just an egg. Can be fried, poached, boiled, in the shell. It doesn't matter. Just an egg. I've made some decisions for us. I consider that an egg. Thank you. One of the things that I decided is that I'm backing out from doing the Stitch Odyssey blanket. Not because of the size or anything, but when I jump on board and start doing a lot of the other tutorials that take time, I'm cutting myself out. And I too am a designer. I think I showed you all this square that I made. I have not made the twin to it yet. I actually have to make 2 more because I ended up using this as a napkin. And of all things that I poured on it, I poured Cheetos on it. So we know this is a wash. But I loved it because it represented the colors of where I live. And I live, of course, in Hampton, Virginia. So as far as designing is concerned, I got on this kick. And I absolutely loved it. And my thing was get it out to 15 rounds and see how I like it. So once I got out to 15 rounds, which this is 17 rounds, so I did a little bit more. It looked kind of bland to me here in the middle. I was feeling everything else because if you really look at the design here, these are made with crosses. It's a diamond. And we're going to have a diamond on each side. But once you got past the bicycle spokes, it got real dull. So this morning, my mission was to correct that. I'm going to keep the other one. I'm going to keep the other one and see where it goes because it'll probably end up being a donation blanket to someone. And that's cool. Unless I decide to add it to this one, because this is what I started coming up with this morning. And I'll see if we can do a comparison here. So if you notice in the middle, right here, back up so you can see it. The middle right here, it's like really flat. Once you get past these accident holes, there's nothing. So these are the accent holes. And I wanted to give it more opening as we went further out. And then I wanted to give it more texture. So I'm doing back posts. Turn it where you can really see it. There we go. And it's going to be 5 rounds of the back post. And of course, I didn't do here, I did a soft transition from a circle to a square. Y'all know I love that's my thing. I love it. So I did a soft one here. But here I kind of went in. I'm like, okay, it's time for you to become a square. And that's what I did. So I'm loving the pink and blue a lot more. I'm pretty sure because of the fact that I added color, it made it stand out to me a lot more. But I'm not completely scrapping the idea of the Stitch Oasis of the Stitch Odyssey. Excuse me, I am, however, putting it on the back burner. I am. I fell in love with making the blankets for the Stitcher hood. And the big surprise that I have for you all, I actually completed a project. I did. I know Joan has been waiting for this. I was like, I got a surprise for you. So, and she knew first about me not doing the Stitcher, the Stitch Odyssey blanket until sometime later if I decide to do it. But this is the surprise, Joan. This baby, it started out lightweight. It is heavy. It is super duper heavy. Guys, this blanket is heavy. It's heavy. When you stretch it out and you lay it across yourself, it's not that heavy. It feels like, okay, this is manageable. But when you fold it up and you lift it all together at the same time, it is massively heavy. This is my second queen size blanket for the Stitcher hood. It is done. It is done. I want to cry so bad because of everything that I went through with the first one and going through now because it still has not reached its destination. And I'm kind of PO'd about that, but the second one is done, guys. It's done. Whew. Am I excited? Super duper excited. Super duper excited. I am still working on the blanket for the siblings and the mother. I have loads and loads and loads of time, especially with it coming up on warm, with it being so warm and the fact that I'm making blankets, you know. So I do have time to do theirs. And I'm playing with stitches, y'all. I'm going back and forth. This one was done with the prim hook, and this one was done with the furl. But I have to tell you all, the one that I did with the prim hook, I am really falling in love with the loops and thread yarn. That yarn is amazing. It's thick as all get out. It's a 4 worsted weight, yes. But guys, it works up so smooth. Oh, MG. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can help y'all out here without losing myself. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you want it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Sorry. I'm in a moment. I love me some Marshall Mathers. He is a he is a wordsmith. So this is the loops and thread. This is the reason I didn't use the furl on the loops and thread. I hear the scraping, like the fingernails across the chalkboard. Personally, that doesn't bother me, but it bothers my grandson. So we'll go to the prim. We'll put the resin down and we'll go to the plastic. Make my circle. I like to half double crochet in the circle. I'm working around my tail. Another thing that I want to do with everybody before we go any further, if I can get you all to drop me a lime slice. I need a lime slice. And I'm only going to need one more emoji today. So, and you'll probably find it in the food section. So, just giving you a heads up. Ok, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 y 16. Y 8. Bam! That's how I start most of my squares. Thank you, Lori. That's how I start most of my squares. Yeah, most of my design blankets that we work in the square. I do 16 half double crochet in a circle. You can do a magic circle if you like. Personally, I like the open circle because I love the openness in the middle. But to see how evenly and how well this works up, can y'all see that really good? You see the stitch definition? And that's one reason I like designing with dark yarn. I want to see how the stitch definition looks with the yarn being dark. If I can see what it looks like, then I know I've chosen the right stitches, not only for that yarn, but for that color. And to go back here with my little Ferris wheel, I see all of that. Sorry, that little chocolate ice cream. That's right. That's fine. That's fine. I don't want chocolate ice cream for the last emoji. Anyway. Okay. One other thing I want to talk to you all about, and I want to know how you feel about it. You can either tell me now or you can use other means of contacting me to let me know how you feel about it. Once I get situated, I would like to. Hello, Jennifer. How are you? Welcome in. So happy to have you here. Anybody seen Hadijah? Go pull her shirt tail and tell her to come on here. Yes, the one other thing that I wanted to talk to you all about was I want us to make a blanket together. You're such a delight. You really are. Um, I want us to make a blanket together. I want to start with my base. My basic start is 16 half double crochet, 16 double crochet. The second round is 16 back loop double crochet. It's going to pucker. And I'm so happy you did. but it's going to pucker. But as you work out, you're going to see where it works out. Like the next round is mhm, that right there. It's double crochet, chain two, double crochet, chain two, and you're going to do the back loop with that as well. So it's going to pronounce that inner circle a lot, and this is where you're going to start your spokes because the chain. Did I say chain two? It's double crochet chain one, double crochet chain one, double crochet chain one, and that'll give you 32 stitches around. The next round will give you 48 stitches, where you're going to put two half double crochets in there, and then you're going to that third one is go. It's easier to show you when I have the camera. It is. But the exciting thing is, yay, yay, go me. Where can I find it? Once I get the blanket made, I am actually wanting to put a pattern out for it. They have my first real pattern, which means I have to have testers so that they can see if they can read my pattern writing. So I'm practicing writing patterns, and it doesn't look like script. It doesn't look like that. Oh my goodness. It makes, and it's making sense. And the big thing is writing things down as I'm doing it. That's the big thing. Just remember, jot it down while I'm doing it. And then I don't have to go back and try to figure out. And over here is where I did my round count. So I know the first two rounds are 16, third round 32, fourth round 48, fifth round 64, 64 again in the sixth, the seventh 72, in the eighth I have 88, the ninth 104, the 10th 120, so forth and so on. So you know at the end of the round how many stitches you have. And of course, by the end being a square, you can divide that by 4 and know how many you're supposed to have per side. I still want to kind of stick to my way of writing. I'm one who thinks that patterns are a little wordy. And I think that's why I don't deal a lot with patterns, because I get tired of reading the same thing over and over again, especially when you're dealing with a square and they describe how you're going to do the first side, and then they describe how you're going to do the second side, and then they describe how you're going to, and it's like, I feel like they're playing with our intelligence at that point. That's awesome. And I feel like if you say um, each side, or if you point out this is where the increase happens. Usually when you're doing squares, the increase happens in your corners. That's where you add the extra two, whatever stitch you're using to start it out. So what I do when I write my pattern, I put what the corner formula is. Like, you know where you started in that corner. If you started on the second stitch of the first double, or if you start at the double closest to, you know where you start. I like to start at the double leading into that side. So what I do is put the formula for the corner first. 2 double crochet, 2 chains, 2 double crochet. From there, I'm telling you what you're working inside that corner. And I write out everything that goes in that side, and I put ×4. So you know that when you get down to the end here, this is a corner. I need to work my corner. And then I'm going to rework this on this side. Corner, rework it, corner, rework it. Instead of giving you a 25-page pattern, we can do maybe 3 or 4 pages. Thank you. It's a new dress. It's a new dress from Temu. I'm loving it because it gives me, it hugs me up top, and it kind of makes things optional there, which I love because the fewer things I have to wear, the better. I'm one of those babies. I'm a baby of the '60s. Yes, we believe in love, peace, and freedom. Hmm. So I love the fit of it. I do love the fit of it, but it's not squeezing so tight that I'm breathless. So I have a lot of movability and mobility in it, and I really like that. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on as far as the pattern is concerned. I want to see if my way of writing a real pattern is readable. And if it is, then I want to put my first pattern out there. And then the one that we do together, I would be happy after doing this to try to see if I could write that out in a pattern according to what we come up with. And we could work that together. Um, Jennifer, the only thing that you missed, I finally finished my Stitcher Hood blanket. This is my second one. And if it looks like it's massive, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I still have a little doctoring to do to it, like clipping some of the sewn in and woven in ends. So I just want to clip those, and then it goes in the washing machine, comes out, and it's ready for transport. Um, the stitch, excuse me, the Stitch Oasis blankets that I was working on, I've decided to abandon these projects. Not because I can't and not because I find them difficult. I encourage anyone who's doing them, keep going, keep going. The last video dropped Thursday. So the complete blanket is now out on video. It's available in Ravelry and Etsy. And it's not a bad price. It's not a bad price at all. I think it's $12.99 if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think that's bad at all for it to be as for it to use 5,000 yards of yarn. I don't think that's bad at all. Um, I found myself going through the cables with no problems. But the reason I decided to abandon the project is because I too am a designer, and I was putting my creativity on the back burner doing other people's projects. And part of the reason I wanted my channel was to get some of my works out here. And I can't keep doing that, jumping on board with everyone else's idea and project. I love um, doing things like the Stitcher Hood. The Stitcher Hood, we have freedoms. We can do our own designs, our own patterns, our own, or we can do someone else's. It doesn't matter. The freedom is there to be a part of the magical make along with Lexi. The more ideas I get, the better, because I'm like, it's not limiting you to, hey, we're going to make this double strand thermal half double crochet rounded cornered washcloth for the month of June. And we're going to do it specifically like this. Follow the tutorial. We get everyone to take pictures and send it in. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Please do not twist what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's, really good for a lot of people if that's what they like doing. I like freedom. I like freedom. Yeah. I like to be able to show my riches, or show something pretty using basic stitches. The one that I just came up with called Shells by the Bay, I'm actually putting a cluster on top of uh, double crochet twins, and it creates this beautiful shell at the top. It's so pretty. And just sitting around playing with it, when I came up with it, it was like, first you see it in your mind, and then you try to draw it out, and then you do it, and it's like, not quite. But you look at what you've been working with and try to see how you can tweak it to make it match what you first saw in your mind. And when that comes into fruition, you feel like, you feel like you've made a major excuse me, y'all, I still have this cough. But you feel like you've made a major accomplishment. And I like feeling like that. I do like feeling like that. So that is why I have chosen to abandon that. I think in the future it is something that I will do. I will be better prepared as far as colors are concerned, and I'll make my colors and my color changes more purposeful when I decide to do it again. There's another blanket of wands that I want to go back and do another one of, which is the Wildflower Oasis. I did that when it first came out for my daughter-in-law, and she absolutely loves it. I absolutely had a blast doing it. It didn't take as long. It didn't take nearly as long, and it didn't take as much material. And I was able to work on other things while I was doing it. But I am in my creative season right now, and it's like many um, firework bursts that are going off in my head. It's like, I did, I did, I did. And if I keep limiting myself by doing other things and just jotting down, hey, had an idea for a blanket, or, maybe the name of a blanket will come up and I write it down. And when the idea first hit me, it could have been the complete blanket. But if I don't have the option or don't give myself the option to explore it because I tied myself down with something else, then I'll never get back to it. And I feel that there are a lot of things that I have done, being a blanket girl and making blankets so that each one is unique and not writing patterns for them. I have a lot of one of a kind works out here, and no way to show any of it because I didn't really take a lot of pictures. When I was taking a lot of pictures, I put them in my laptop. And if I plug my laptop up right now, then by June 14th or so, it might come on. And then I gotta wait another week so that I can actually, once I hit the screen name and the password, it's about another week before that circle stops turning and it actually turns the computer off on me. So yeah, it would be a month, and by that time, my little squirrely mind would have gone on to something else, and I'd be sitting there looking at that laptop like, why did I turn it on? What sticky notes? Sticky notes do nothing around here. I love sticky notes. I love the purpose of sticky notes, but I have two Monster Inks. I do. And I love them. Do not get me wrong. I love my baby. I'm just grateful to everyone that's helped me. Yes. Yes. Yes, because sure is there. But I have one who they're both ADHD. Everybody in this apartment is ADHD. And if you are or have dealt with anyone who is, you know how that is. We have moments that we get super depressed because we feel we want to do what's on our mind, but our minds are so cluttered that we literally become exhausted mentally because there's so much going on up here that our body's like, you know what? No, no. You go ahead and do that if you want to. I'm gonna be over here. And me, you'll find me stretched out across this bed in a heartbeat. And my body shuts completely down. And then mine, where we start branching off is I have OCD, PTSD, and anxiety on top of mine. All of mine was trauma based. And my baby, my heartthrob, bless her heart, is bipolar, and her daughter is level 2 autistic. And then we have the little genius, the little second grader that's reading on a high school level. When you get these segments in school that you have to finish this block by halfway third grade, the second half of third grade, halfway fourth grade. How about he's finished with all of those that he has for school period? He doesn't have any more. None. All he has to do is sit back and take the crazy aptitude test. Vivian! Hello, my love. How are you? Yeah, all he has to do is sit back and take the aptitude test. He's a little. Y'all watch the Animaniacs? Are you familiar with Pinky and the Brain? That's my grandkids. Pinky, who's too smart for his own good. I mean, the brain. And then Pinky accidentally comes across with the solution to all of the brain's mess ups. Like happenstancely, like, oh, well, if you put this here and do this here, it seems like, voila. And he's like, well, that's my grandkids, y'all, I'm telling you. That is my grandbabies all day. But yes, that is the Stitcherhood blanket, Jennifer. And this is a design that I'm working on. I know it's going to have something about diamonds in the title. With my crocheting, I sure am. The same thing we do everything, Pinky. Try and take over the world. But you know who my favorite cartoon character in there? And it's amazing that we always talk about Squirrel. Y'all, I love Slappy the Squirrel. That is my alter ego. That little woman, yes, that sassy little, I love her dearly. And when she put her little hat on with the little flower that leaves and grabs her little pocketbook, she get ready to go whoop something. Yes. Like I said, this is going to have diamond in it somewhere. All of these are the cross stitches, the X's that we do. And I made it in the shape of a diamond. And it's going to be one on each side. This, I put it aside on purpose because I wasn't happy with the dullness in here. I wanted something to pop in here. So I did that yesterday. I started this morning. It's the same start in the middle. It looks completely different, doesn't it? Because I added the openness here, and I also added texture around here. And it gives it a whole different feel. I also slowly graduated from the circle to the square, giving it a softer blend. Here, I told the circle, okay, now it's time. Here we go. And made it happen. So, I'm loving this one. I told you I am. One stitch at a time. One circle square at a time. Certainly am. Hmm. Yes. And the idea that I had, being that I have more people here, and I'm hoping you all love this idea, let me know about it. I want us to create a blanket. I want to wait closer to the fall months to do it if it's done this year at all. It's written down, so I know we're going to do it. But what I want to do is like start my typical first 3 or 4 rounds, and then from there we like shoot out a stitch, and we see how that stitch is going to work in the next round, incorporate it somehow to see, what we're going to do. I don't want to go with stitches like the star stitch, the Catherine's wheel, the jasmine stitch. We all know that those are difficult stitches, and I like to keep everything simple so that everybody can do it. Yeah. So those are the exciting things going on in the den. Yes. Trying to see if I have anything else close. That's the brother's blanket. The sister's blanket is right here beside me in the tote. I don't know that they're going to be worked on today. My biggest thing, what, the X's? You think the X's are yarn eaters? Or was it? Oh, no, 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 no. I got you. I got you. When you're talking about the Catherine's wheel and the star stitch and the jack, yes, they are. They are. And I want everybody to get the best bang for their buck. Unless you're trying to get rid of yarn. Every now and then I'm at that point. Um, I personally, even though my name is Catherine, it's spelled the same as the Catherine's wheel, but I don't like doing that stitch. I personally, and have shied away from a lot of projects because they incorporate that stitch, and it's just not for me. You know, it's just not for me. I don't know if any of you or how many of you caught Michelle's stitch circle this morning. I was late. I had forgotten. I did. But when I remembered, I got in there. I did. I got in there. And it's a lot of fun. Monday, and then she said Monday at 2:15 Eastern time, she will be dropping her weekly video. And then on Tuesday will be the Cozy Encyclopedia Treble Crochet. I agreed on Kitty keeps track of her goals. And I do. I do. I do. Okay, now for like the best news of all. John, but you did not know. Um, it looks like I might finally be getting the help that I need. I'm saying it quietly and prayerfully. We've gone into the final phase as far as the application and the background check, being done, those types of things. We're getting there, guys. We are. We had the telephone assessment done yesterday, and on Monday, the young lady's coming by to follow up with everything. And then on Wednesday, we actually have the assessment nurse coming out to see visually exactly what needs to be done. I have to be ready to take a shower for her and stand up as long as I can to try to cook and, those types of things. She has to see them for herself. And, when she sees that later, it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be the shower or the cook. I can't even stand up for the whole shower. I'm so grateful for that shower seat, and the fact that my daughter has to help me so much. Once she sees that, then I'm pretty sure that they will allow the proper amount of hours for my daughter to get paid. Her getting hours to get paid is not a problem. Excuse me. They just want to make sure they give her the proper amount. Um, Especially being that we live in the same household together. Sometimes they tend to cut back because they're like, okay, well, you do this as your daily function anyway. You don't bathe your mama as your daily function. When your mama can't raise her head off the pillow, you don't feed your mom. I mean, you may do it, you may take on that task like that, but that's not what it is. Miss Tina, hello, how are you? I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for popping in. Oh my goodness. I'm like super excited right now, guys. Oh my goodness. But yes, we are approaching the final phases of that. And just the fact that, you think about everything as you're going through. And I think about the fact that I started working literally when I was 5 years old. I worked at my aunt's store, manning the cash register. My grandfather and grandmother were very much the mathematicians in the family. And so they made sure that I knew how to count. Um, and when Aunt Florence took me in her store and realized that I was very good with the cash register and very good with customer service, that's where she put me. And of course, I did that until I started spending my summers back here at home. And then I started taking score for the interim sports, like the volleyball, the baseball, the softball, whatever they had going on, I would keep score. My brother-in-law worked at, it has been a long time since I've seen anybody decided, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. But my brother-in-law was the director at this place called Birdsong in Suffolk. So, of course, he pulled his little sister-in-law in, and I got to make my little summer money. And from there, it was like Roses and Big Star and, those types of places. And I've always loved customer service. I love talking to people. It's funny. I used to tell my mom I am not a people person, but I love talking to people. And when I felt she was comfortable enough to understand where I was coming from, I operate off of energy. Um, and a lot of people say vibes, but if you're not sending good vibes, a big part of me wants to know why. Because I'm also extremely empathic or empathetic, empathic, both, um, because I like to help people. I love to help people. And if your negative energy is something that good advice and a good hug will help, I'm all there. I am all there. But if it's just you being a malicious person, then I have to guard myself and I have to back away. And sometimes it's hard to distinguish between the two because, you know, some people can be real sneaky. They can be real messy. But I love helping people. I love reaching out. I love when I worked at 7-Eleven, guys, I used to tell my manager there, I love seeing that person walk in the door looking flustered, confused, and mad as hell. I love it. And by the time they leave, they're laughing. By the time they leave, they're laughing because that little 15-second exchange that we had at the register was enough to put a smile on their face and lift their spirits. And that's one thing that I challenge myself to do. We don't have to be in each other's presence hours on top of hours on top of hours. If that 15 seconds of me ringing you up if I can change your makeup from a scowl to a smile, then I did what I left home to do. That's what I get paid for, you know? And I'm so glad that I found or started listening to people about YouTube because when the doctor made that phone call in October of 2020, and he said to me, Kitty, and I said, yes, Ryan. He said, you're not going back to work. What you talking about, Ryan? He says, I've already faxed the company and let them know that you will no longer be working. Um, your infection, your efaction factor is at 38%, which means my heart function was at 38%. And he said, and I don't feel comfortable with you being there. I don't feel comfortable releasing you to go back to work under those circumstances. And, the last time I talked to you, we kept trying to figure out why we could not get it out of the 40s. And instead of going forward, you're going backwards. So I was very distraught about the fact that my doctor was not allowing me to work. And now that he put it out here in the facts to the company, if I go somewhere else and try to sneak and get a job, I can't use this job as a reference because they're going to tell on me. They going to tell them my doctor said I'm not supposed to be working. So, but I'm happy to tell you all that for the past, 3 years, my infarction faction has been 78 and above. So, less stress. But because of the fact that I love dealing with people so much, and it's so easy to look at this camera and just imagine you all here for this moment. Another reason I go over to Walmart every day, I have a need to be around people. Call it crazy, okay? I've been called it too. But yes, I love being here. I love sharing. I was introduced to crocheting when I was 5 years old. I played around with it until I developed my own skill with some things and, things that I haven't seen other places that I never knew how to share. And now I know how to share them here. And slowly I'm filtering, some things in. The only thing I wish that I had paid more attention to was the growth of the electronic era. I know, right, Lori? Y'all, in case you didn't know, Lori and I are twins in stitches. It's like I happened across her channel one day, and when I looked at her channel, I got stuck because it was like looking at myself. She was swirling everywhere, but it all made sense to me. It all made perfect sense to me. And it took away some of the anxiety that I was feeling. It let me know that it was okay to be me. And then the more we got to talk back and forth to each other, the more we found out that we share some medical issues. We share, excuse me, we share some backstories. So yeah, when she says, I'm the same way, I know you're surprised. Not at all, sis, not at all. And the weird thing about that is, I am the second of twins. My twin was born 3 days before me. And I was the stubborn one that didn't want to come. And it's the whole dynamic about it lets me know that God put me here for a reason. He had me here for a reason. My sister was born November 29th, 1963. 1963 to an unwed mother in a Catholic hospital. Okay? My sister passed away December 1st, 1963, to an unwed mother in a Catholic hospital, and she was still pregnant with her second twin because they did not believe in cesareans. But they had to do it because 3 days after my sister being born, I was still alive inside my mom. And they went head on and did the cesarean. And I still popped out butt first, but here I am, as backwards as you all will have me. And that's funny too, because I am a I am a member of the Noesikal committee. I am. I got the rolls up top and I got hips, but the butt itself, it's like somebody took a chopper and just said, "Poop, that doesn't belong there." I mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, I got the flat syndrome going on back there, but I popped out butt first. Maybe maybe the doctor spanked me too hard or something. I don't know. Oh my goodness. But yes, what I want us to do is make a blanket together and put it out there. I would like for it to be. I would like for it to be. Thank you, Joan. I love you. I do. But I would like for it to be something that we all work on. Uh, and I want it to be so that if we're not working on it at that time, it's something that we can go back and look at. And I think, in thinking about it and trying to get it together, I think when we come up with the stitches, I'll try, hopefully, when I get the electronic part fixed. I've reached out. I'm just waiting. But then hopefully I'll be able to do tutorials to show what we have come up with collectively. And that way we'll have a space that we can go back to in case we're not able to do a certain step or a certain part of it. We can go back to those and, instead of having to pull up a whole live and be like, okay, the first 20 minutes, no, we didn't. Okay, what about right here? We maybe develop a playlist for that item itself, and we can go back and look at that and make, and compare items, compare blankets or whatever it is. I want to get more into wearables, which means I have to start looking at working with thinner yarns. Okay, I had to get that out of my system. But yes, I do want to get more into wearables. I made that dress a few years ago under the direction of Jennifer Rivera of Cinema Stitches. And I'm in love with that dress, y'all. I am. I am in love with that dress. It's a little too big for me now because of a tad bit of weight loss and the stretching of the material. But yeah, yeah, I do want to get more into it. Excuse me, the cardigan that I made last year, I'm still getting compliments and questions and the stop and everything about that. So I do want to make another panel cardigan, and I want to do that with all of us together. I want to mine, and I already have it written out. Mine is going to the colors are going to mean something. Okay. So yes, see, I got it written down. Okay, so I know that I will have, I think this one has 5 panels. It does. I have 3 back panels and 2 front panels. The sleeves, cuffs, ribbing, facing, and I want a hood on it, and I want my hood to be different colors. Like my back panels will be white, brown, and gray. And the white represents people who have passed in my life. the brown and gray. Those are my granddaddy's colors. So I probably have the white going down the middle and the brown and gray on each side. And then the front panels will be blue and green. Those were my grandmother's favorite colors. Holding her close to my chest. And then the sleeves would be red and black. Those were my mom's. See, I even got a red eagle wing right here for my mom. Her nickname was Butter. And I got a blue wing here for my son, Christopher. The cuffs would alternate the sleeves. Like if I had a red sleeve here, I'd have a black cuff, black sleeve here, red cuff. My ribbing would be purple, and so would the facing. And the reason for that is my best friend, Sashley. I told you about her. We would wake up in the morning, take ugly pictures, and send them to each other. And that was our way of saying to each other, good morning. My hood sides would be baby blue and yellow. And that would be for my son, Christopher, because he passed away as an infant from SIDS. And the last outfit he wore was yellow. So yeah, everything would have, it would be, I call it a purposeful, just for me cardigan, you know, and I would have all of these colors. So you can see I'm not making anything up. It's already planned. Yep, it is already planned. I just have to keep speaking it out there into the ether so that it can come through fruition. Yes. So these are some of the things that I'm working on. In case you wanted to know how it looks when I complete a project. See that heart with the date in it? I do the same thing there. So I can go back and find my chunky. There it is. And I didn't write anything down for it because I knew how to make a granny square. But since y'all are here, we get to do this together. I can put what's today, the 29th? So we finished this 5, 28, 26. And that's our chunky granny. That's our Stitcherhood blanket. It's done. So yes, that's what we do. You guys, I've had a blast, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Absolutely, from the bottom of everything in me. I want you to always remember that I love you, but I want most of all for you to love yourself, because self-love is the greatest love of all. And you can't love others the way they deserve to be loved if you don't first love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. Trust me when I tell you this. Remember, Kitty Lane told you, and remember, Kitty Lane loves you. Until we see each other again on these YouTube streets. Peace out, everybody. I love you.